Whether it is yelling, growling, screaming, or even pig squeals, the metal world has a variety of vocal styles. Some love it, some can't stand it. Let's take a closer look at extreme metal vocals.
What do you have to do before a show to prepare to scream all night long?
Just beers, like that's usually it. Like, I mean, and the one thing I don't like doing is like drinking cold water, because I mean, traditionally, like if you're an actual vocalist, you're not supposed to drink ice cold water because it closes down your throat. Cold beer, however, because it numbs it, I can just force it through and it doesn't bother me. But Coke is actually pretty good because the syrup will coat your throat, give you a little bit more to grate on. I mean, like sometimes dairy products, like if it's gonna be like a really long set or whatever, like every once in a while I'll just have like some string cheese or whatever, because you get more phlegm in your throat and it's just easier, just shit to grate on, like I said. But there's not really like I don't do warm-up exercises or whatever. It's fucking ridiculous.
I have different methods I use. I use the margarita method, I use the Dr. Seuss method, and the tequila methods.
Recently, we've kind of cut the bad stuff. I just recently quit smoking. Usually it would have been go outside and walk around the block and smoke half a pack of cigarettes to get over the nerves, but now it's just there's a lot of warming up, stand side stage. I warm up to, this tour is, I've been warming up to Bloodbath, actually, Eaton. I'll put that on and but definitely the best warm up vocally is go from one extreme to the other. If you do low vocals, high vocal, like high growls, as opposed to, clean vocals. Definitely like a stock, and this is going to sound cheesy too, musical theater warm-up will definitely get everything that you need warmed up and ready to go.
I've got an insane routine. I don't, and that applies like every time, all the time. I don't eat dairies, like just cheese here and there, but I won't drink milk, no yogurt, no ice cream. I do eat a raw ginger sometimes on the road. I drink a hot tea, and that sums it up. The hot tea always before a set.
I do surprisingly little, actually. I do a minimal amount of kind of vocal warm-ups. But really, other than that, I do nothing, man. I make sure I've pissed.
Is there no personal trick or any kind of food or drink or exercise that you like to use?
No, nothing, man. No,
You're a natural.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. I'm just, naturally crazy or something. Yeah.
I love to do stuff like karaoke and stuff. I got like 100 songs I could do at karaoke. Beatles, Elvis, Johnny Cash, and I like doing different voices and stuff like that. Yeah. So I pushed it a little bit on Grip Scary Tales 1, but I think I'm going to push it even farther on part 2 and do more variety musically, vocally, and just, I think we can go any direction we want to go.
Tea with honey has become a good favorite of mine, because honey actually coats your throat, and it makes you a bit more resilient to the stress and the wear that's involved. And you can't, actually I just found this out recently, is that I was always drinking ice cold water, but apparently that constricts your vocal cords and makes it a lot easier to strain them. So tea, honey, definitely you warm up a couple hours beforehand, both the musical theater warm up and the growling stuff, but you just make sure that you're not walking into the studio and doing your take for the first time. Like, you have to warm into it, and the difference is just night and day, man.
If we're in studio for many days, I'd rather do half an hour to an hour every day and be top shape when I do it than like a long day where at the end you're just not at your best.
A lot of bands use effects on their vocals when recording, and we're wondering if you use effects, and what kind of effects do you use?
Like live, there's no effects. In studio, I think it's not as much as let's put effects on, as you need a little bit of effects to have the voice work with the mix. So we'll have like a slight reverb and maybe a slight, like kind of not little distortion, but nothing that will like affect the sound of the vocal too much, just to make it more blended.
No, not really. I mean, having said that, fuck knows, the engineer might have stuck all sorts of shit on it. No, I try and keep it as dry as possible. There's probably like when we did a Demon Rising, actually, I think the vocals are probably comprised of about 3 tracks layered on top of one another. But I don't think there's any effects on it. It was just, he had me record it multiple times and then he just fucking pieced it together so you get a really thick sound, eh? But
Well, we use like reverb and delay. I mean, that's pretty common in any like vocal recording. I think we use like a little bit of distortion, just like just a thin layer, which was something I really never wanted to do, but Mieszko from Nauseam did it on Slaughter Colt, and I ended up really liking it because the vocal performance I gave on that record is like really awful. It sounded really bad. So I was like, wow, that actually really helps. And we never have a lot of time to record. I think I did all the vocals in like 4 hours for the last record, and the bonus tracks. So it's like 16 songs or whatever. And so I mean, it's just I don't know, if I could do it like 2 days and then take 2 days off, then I probably wouldn't need to use distortion, and I probably would double my voice. But I've just never had enough time in the studio to actually do it. So it's pretty minimal,
We have only used reverb, and I can say that completely and totally honestly. For a bunch of parts, if we're trying to get a certain sound, we'll kind of behemoth it and double up or triple up. But beyond that, we try to get the sound that we can out of just doing it ourselves rather than putting a bunch of effects on it, because live we don't always have the opportunity to put effects on it, and we're kind of trying to make it so that what you hear on the album will translate over to what you're going to get when we're standing in front of you. It's the honest way to do it, I suppose.
Alright, we're back. We just watched the performing and preparation video for extreme metal vocals. Now, is there any little tricks that you guys use the day of a show for?
Well, I try to not eat heavy, and certain foods, like anything that's going to give me heartburn, I try to stay away from, like beef. Like we performed yesterday, and I had a chicken breast and some potatoes, a dill, and nothing too crazy, not lots of sauces and weird shit, right? So yeah, so that you're not just like feeling all acidic, and then after that, I'll get to the venue and I'll do a few and I've kind of made my vocal warm up a bit of a joke. Like it's a joke, between the guys in the band. And I did it last night. Like people were looking at me, what the fuck? And it's just, so it gives me a chance to get loud and get the vocal cords a little bit warmed up and give some people some laughs too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, day of the show, you got to make sure you're well rested. You don't want to be feeling heavy, so you can't eat all this heavy foods. I try and eat like sushi or something, just a little bit of sushi, just something light or easier to digest, all that stuff. And then I do a tea or water before the show. And definitely not the ice water, just water no ice kind of thing. Just well lubricated and all that. And then just before the show, like an hour, you're getting close to the set, and I start doing the screaming thing. It's loud, so you just scream away, and no one even knows what's going on, kind of thing. And then and then just before we go on, I try and like get my heart rate up and get almost a bit of like get warm for real, like physically warm, not necessarily in my voice, but just getting like I almost literally run on the spot a little bit, or just get my heart rate up, because that's when it starts to sound good, is when your whole body's just really cooking and all that. So usually by after the first song, you know, the sound man's figured his shit out and you've got yourself all perfectly warmed up, ready to go.
A lot of the techniques are similar there. There's a few extra things that I do personally that I've observed works. I used to just not do anything, drink beer, get up on stage and sing, and I'd be dying. Like, I'd just be fighting against my own breath supply during the set, and it felt painful. But when I started to do more vocal warm-ups, it's like, then I'm getting into it, I'm enjoying it. Singing is like, I'm not even thinking about it, it's just happening. But one thing that I carry with me are these bags of throat coat tea. So I'll kind of, I think it might have honey in it, or like he was saying in Hollow's Dye, like, that's exactly what it does. Whatever herbs are in there, it coats the throat. And, you know, I'm constantly going to the bar and getting funny looks to keep asking for a glass of hot water, and I'm just, you know, dunking the same tea bag in there and trying to extract whatever tea I can out of this thing. Not talking is also a big thing, which is hard, because usually I'm the person in the band booking the show, and, you know, people are coming up to me like, hey, man, I haven't seen you. And I don't want to be a dick, so I talk to them. But I try not to talk more than I need to the day of a show. And then, you know, one thing that I like to carry my own water, because I can regulate the temperature on it a lot better. But, like, venues sometimes do not like that. I've been on tour and they're like, we don't allow bottled water in here. You have to get it from our person, right? And every time you go to ask them, it's loud. They're like, water, no ice. And they, of course, they're going to put ice in there. And you're like, now it's done. I can't even drink this.
Fast we approach with lingering hope, this place of coal and straw. A placard hung of polished brass, emblem of a beer claw. Open door that revealed a...
Hell yes.
Always drink beer. Sometimes it's not a good idea to drink too many, but it can't be avoided at times.
After the set, and not too many. I'm too disciplined, I think, with this thing.
Ooh. Depends. What's the gig?
Drinking hard liquor is the gig.
Am I fighting people? Sure, yeah. Get some in there, man. Let's get the audience razzed up.
Depends on your tolerance. I mean, it doesn't affect your voice, but I mean, you don't want to go on stage and like be falling over drunk. I mean, you know, like a shot or whatever. Like sometimes I'll drink like scotch or whatever, and that's good.
Yeah. Beer's made of water.
Absolutely, yeah. You need to hydrate after the hard liquor and the beer.
Tea for sure. I am a tea drinker, especially like the morning of, like tea with lemon and honey, like just like any vocalist would use. It's like awesome. And I don't know, Rob drinks coffee every day. His voice sounds fine, so yeah, go for it.
I constantly drink coffee. I recommend it.
Tea, ideally herbal tea, go nuts. Coffee, not too much. And what's the other one? That's it, yeah.
If it's a double vodka paralyzer, then yes.
Oh, fuck no.
Not if you play guitar, because you can get grease all over the fretboard.
Oh, they're so good. Yeah, we'll put that. Yeah, give her.
Oh, that's a light snack. You just don't overdo it. Don't eat the whole damn bag. Just have some chips. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, chocolate and playing shows doesn't really happen too much. If it happens, hey, right on.
Probably not.
The darkest chocolate, I don't know. Chocolate, just don't overdo any of this stuff. You have a square. One square, get that taste, move on.
Again, it puts you in a good place, but chocolate is a comfort food. It doesn't make you angry. You're not metal if you're eating chocolate.
No, because you're drinking beer before the show. He says you don't eat chocolate and beer. That's weird.